She said, do you come from a land down under? Women go and men wonder. Can't you hear the thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
In Australia, you must first decide if the encounter is professional or more casual. Normally, in a work setting, it is more appropriate to greet someone with a shake of hands. Both males and females in Australia shake hands upon greeting one another, much like what is practiced here in the United States. In less professional settings, it is common for women to kiss one another on the cheek, and it is common for men to just give each other a hello nod. When you are departing from one another, it is also appropriate in a professional setting to shake hands once again to say your farewells. In less professional settings, departing with a hug, kiss on the cheek, or a simple nod are also appropriate. If you are unsure how professional a setting is, always stick with a handshake or follow the other person's lead. Once you have appropriately greeted one another, you must start out by introducing yourself using your first and last name. If you already know the person, greet them by saying hello and use their name. This shows the other person you are being very sincere. If you greet someone and they introduce themselves by only saying their first name, it is safe to refer to that person on a first name basis from there on out. In cases where you don't know the person or don't know that person's name, it would be most appropriate to refer to them as sir or madam. When speaking with others in a business setting, don't go into any in-depth conversations that are unrelated to business. Although, during these times, making small talk is acceptable. You must expect that everything you say will be taken literally, so take that into consideration before saying things out loud. Also, it is unacceptable to beat around the bush when having conversation. Always be straightforward to others. Australians use direct communication rather than indirect communication. This means they are hard workers, aren't afraid to say it how it is, explanations are explicit and on the surface, and it's not uncommon to be brutally honest. Since this is the case, and since being straightforward is highly respected in Australia, don't take anything too personally, and know that it's just the way they go about their business.
It's very important to maintain good eye contact while doing business in Australia. It shows respect and confidence. It is also critical to be punctual to meetings. If you're going to be late, you should find a way to let the person know you are meeting with. If you don't do this, it is seen as very disrespectful and you may lose the business deal. When you are meeting or saying goodbye to someone, it is expected that you shake their hand. A firm handshake can go a long way. People will expect you to provide them with a business card. Not only is this seen as professional, but it also helps the person remember you. Exchanging of a business card is a great networking tool also. You are not expected to give a gift to someone when doing business with them. The only time this is acceptable is if you are invited to their home for dinner. In Australia, it is very important to wait your turn in line. Budging is not acceptable.
While here in the Philippines, the act of bribery is very common. For an illustration on how bribery works, watch the next video.
With the highest sales this month will receive a bonus.
I will do whatever it takes to win this bonus. Hey Matt, I figured out how I am going to meet my sales goal and get the bonus.
How?
I will give my client free tickets only if she buys a ton of product from me.
That's considered bribery.
Here are your free tickets. Keep this between us.
An anonymous tip stated you are using bribery to hit sales goals. Is this true?
Yes. I really need the money.
Bribery is unethical behavior and this is an ethical company. You are disqualified from the sales competition for the remainder of the year.
When we talk about punctuality, we Filipinos are known to have this, the Filipino time. And for an example, here's a video of a foreigner scolding a Filipino employee for being late.
Always! 1 year that anytime we meet, you're always late. 1 hour! Filipino time. And you don't have any respect for anybody. You always trash everywhere you want. You don't care at all. No, sorry. It's not. Okay, you are fired, bro. You are fired. Fine for you later.
Despite of this mentality, companies in the Philippines are actually strict when it comes to punctuality. And just like Australian people, shaking hands is widely used here in the Philippines as a way of greeting each and everyone. In addition to that, female workers may also kiss each other on the cheeks as a way of greeting and bidding goodbye. The same with Australian people, appointments are required and should be made 3 to 4 weeks in advance. And lastly, unlike the Australian business etiquette of being straightforward, in the Philippines, yes is yes, and sometimes it's no, maybe is no, and no is rarely heard. Because Filipinos have a high context culture, one in which the modes of behavior are not explicitly stated, but are instead inferred in many different ways. Other Australian business etiquettes are quite similar with the Philippine business etiquette. That's all, thank you.